everybody's asleep. It might be the middle of the night. You asleep too?
Almost. Oh, it's so nice in the sun. Why don't you sit down too? Temple of the Spirit. No longer bodies, but pure, ascetic images. Do you remember poor Charles?
Charles who?
Charles Lewington.
Lewington?
He died 2 years ago.
Oh, and you just heard about it?
No, I knew the day after his death. 2 years ago.
Lewington. I don't seem to be able to remember the fella. Where did we meet him?
At the Hooper Smiths.
Was he a lawyer?
No. No, he was a poet. He was thin, tall, fair, so pale and spiritual. He was stationed here in Italy during the war. Right here, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yes, I think I remember him. He was at one of Arthur's concerts. He had a fit of coughing and had to leave the auditorium.
Oh, yes, he was very ill. Something he caught during the war.
You know, that young man started me thinking about something.
About what?
That you can learn more from the way a man coughs than from the way he speaks.
What did Charles Cough tell you?
That he was a fool.
He was not a fool. He was a poet.
What's the difference?
Charles wrote some wonderful poems.
I must get one of his books.
Well, you won't find any. He was too young to have any of his books published.
Then how did you know about them?
He read them to me. I even copied some. Temple of the Spirit. No longer bodies, but pure ascetic images, compared to which mere thought seems flesh, heavy, dim. He wrote them here in Italy while he was in the war.
I never knew you were such great friends.
Oh, I knew him before I met you.
Were you in love with him?
No, but we got on terribly well together. I saw a great deal of him at Copping Farm. Then he got desperately ill. I couldn't even visit him. For almost a year, I didn't see him. Then on the eve of our wedding, the night before I left for London, I was packing my bags when I heard a sound of pebbles on my window. And the rain was so heavy that I couldn't see anyone outside. So I ran out into the garden just as I was. And there he stood. He was shivering with cold. He was so strange and romantic. Maybe he wanted to prove to me that in spite of the high fever, he had braved the rain to see me. Or maybe he wanted to die.
How very poetic. Much more poetic than his verses.